everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Angelo from T-Squad RVing. I hope you had a great week and a weekend. So today we are going to discuss how to prep your RV, your Nautilus Center, I should say, your Nautilus Center, for dry camping. That means pumping your freshwater tank with fresh water, not from a spigot, but from a 5-gallon bucket or another source of water storage. Now, I do want to tell you, if you have not watched my video right here about the freshwater tank fill with a spigot, which means from a city outlet or a well with a hose, watch that video. It's right here. It's pretty cool. I got some comments on it, and I am answering those questions from the comments. Also, this video is about how to prep for dry camping using your Nautilus Center, which means how to control your Nautilus Center while dry camping. This has nothing to do with electrical. I do have another video on how to install a second battery on your RV if it does not have one. It makes RVing dry camping a little easier because you have a lot more use out of your batteries. Now, some people go solar. I cannot get into the solar right now because I do not have solar, even though that may be in our future plans. But today we're going to discuss the Nautilus Center. So let's do this. Hey, I want to remind you, if you have not subscribed, please do so by hitting that subscribe button and go a step further and hit that bell, and you will get notified for videos like this. Okay, so first off, I do not know if your RV comes with a Nautilus Center, but this Grand Design Reflection 312B HTS does come with a Nautilus Center. I know maybe your RV does not have one, and you are looking to find out some more information on how to use this. I'm going to describe the best way how to use it, the water way. By the way, I love my glasses. I could see everything. Yeah. So if you're like me and you keep your RV at a storage facility, you cannot fill up your freshwater tank with the water at the storage facility. Well, maybe they don't have it, or they just don't allow you to use it. This is why I am filling up my freshwater tank with a 5-gallon bucket. Now, you can use 20 gallons if you want. We choose to use only 5 to 10 gallons of water because that's how much we need to get to the other campsite. But if you are dry camping for 2-3 days, you may need to fill that up a lot more. So today we're just going to use 5 gallons. So you get the point. If you want to continue using more, you can. You just got to go get more water and fill it up. The same process we will be using now. First things first, let's go over the Nautilus Center. As you can see, you'll have 2 knobs here. One is for hot water. One's for cold water. This is for your outdoor spigot. You want to rinse the dogs down. You want to rinse your feet off when you get out of the dirt and the sand and the mud, whatever it may be. At least you do not have to go to the RV, through the RV, unless your feet are clean. And this right here is the hose that comes with it. And you'll see this little adapter here. It gets clipped right in there, and it's ready to go. So let's move this out of the way because I do want to show you the Nautilus Center. So we talked about this. This is the fresh water. This is actually the water, hot and cold water. This is where you'll put your cable if the RV resort comes with cable. This right here is your pump, and we will get into this right now. Confusing. This says pump, and there's a red light here. That is for the light in the front. So this is not your pump. This is your pump. So going down below here, you'll see a map of a detailed description of what things are. I absolutely love this diagram. Grand Design did a great job of details of how to set your RV on certain circumstances, such as dry camping, water from tank via pump, which means what we're going to do today, we are going to fill that tank up using a 5-gallon bucket of water. So this is what we're going to be talking about, but let's move on. So power fill tank from inlet to tank. City inlet to tank. This is what we used to fill our freshwater tank. Check out that video right here, and let's move on to city water. City inlet to fixtures. So city water, city inlet to fixtures. That is going to be going to your faucets from your toilet, to your shower, to your kitchen sink, to your outdoor sink, and etc. So let's move on to winterizing. Winterizing siphon to fixtures via pump, which means you are going to fill all your fixtures with antifreeze. RV antifreeze, not regular antifreeze that comes out of your car. So let's move down to sanitize, siphon to tank via pump. Listen to that. Siphon to tank via pump, which means it will go in your freshwater tank. So I want you to pay attention. Just because it says sanitize, siphon to tank, does not mean you cannot use that dial to add water to your freshwater tank, because it's going to use a pump to pump it from the 5-gallon bucket inside the tank. I want you to note that power fill is different than sanitize. Not because of the name. If we remove sanitize, okay, and just put like fill from 5-gallon bucket, even if you mark it here, power fill is from a city outlet. This is using the pump to pump water from any source into your tank, such as this right here. I will be pumping water 5 gallons from here inside here, which the tank sits right under here. I do want to say, if you are filling from a spigot, have no fear. Use the power fill, city inlet to tank, and fill it up. Don't worry about overfilling. It has an overfill. We were at Algonac, and Richie and I were talking, and we're just talking, and the water was filling up our tank. And we realized that water was coming from under the RV, and we said, whoops. There is the overfill, so you are protected. You do not have to worry about it going anywhere else but overfilling outside of your RV. And you will see that white pull knob right there. If we pull it, I have some fresh water in my tank already. Water will come out. Like I said, I have about 5 gallons in there already. I do not want to deplete it, so I'm going to keep that handle closed. The reason I'm mentioning it is make sure that handle is closed, because as you're filling it up, that's what you're going to hear. Okay, so let's move on down. These dials match whatever fits your camping needs or whatever you have to do to your RV. Make sure you put these dials set to any picture here. If you go down below, you'll see it says city water connection. This is where you will be putting your city water connection. We will also be using this to pump water from our 5-gallon bucket inside the tank, freshwater tank. If you look over here, this is our tank flush, our black tank flush, that is. And this is how you would connect a different hose, not a hose that you would use for your RV, a different hose to flush your black tank. And if you want to check out that video right here, I do have a video on how to flush your black tank. And if we go down below, you'll see 2 knobs. You'll see 1 knob. Some of them come with 3 because they have a separate tank, but this one comes with 1 because our other 2 are right there under the RV. So now that we went through this entire Nautilus Center of what it does, let's go ahead and connect our hose to this spigot right here, the city water connection, and let's fill up our freshwater tank using the pump. Okay, so the easiest thing I could think of to use is what this hose came with. 2 reasons why. It has this little thin piece on the end that clicks in, and it has the hose outlet where you can screw in the hose to the Nautilus Center. Okay, so we are going to use this hose that came with the Grand Design Reflection. It's a wonderful hose. It serves good purpose on everything. So we are going to slide it down through there all the way to the bottom. Now you can use this hose to sanitize as well, okay, because anything you use, or winterize, you can do that too. Anything you use has to be RV friendly. So this way you just have to rinse it out a few more times than normal. But okay, so now that we have this entire hose all the way inside this 5-gallon bucket of water, we are going to attach this to the city water connection. Even though we're not using city water, we're using, actually it might be city water, but we're using the 5-gallon bucket to fill up. We're going to get the other end and we're going to connect it onto here. So you'll like this little gadget here. I don't need it right now, so I'm going to remove it. Basically, if you want to check out my other video, this shows you that you can keep the water off from the spigot as you are setting up, and then when you're ready, you just flick this switch right here, and it would turn your water on to go inside your RV. All right, so let's connect this here just like this. Remember, the other end is in the water already. We'll tighten it up, and there you have it. Next thing you want to do is siphon to tank via pump. You want to match the dials with this diagram right here. Now, just remember, we're actually siphoning to tank via pump with water. We're not sanitizing. So I'm going to match the dials. So I'm going to, the white goes down, the blue goes down, the black goes sideways, the green goes sideways, and the red goes sideways. Now this right here will fill your freshwater tank. Don't be mistaken from this right here where it says dry camping. That is the dials where you would put your dials when you are literally using the water. But for now, we are going to siphon to tank via pump. So what that means, it means we're going to siphon from the 5-gallon bucket through the pipes down to the tank using the pump, the onboard pump that's behind this Nautilus Center. So check this out. Let's watch this 5-gallon bucket of water go down as we fill our tank using sanitize, siphon to tank diagram. So we are going to double check to make sure the diagram is good. It's good. This is good. This right here is all the way to the bottom. I don't know if you can see that pipe right there. Pretty close to the bottom. One thing you want to make sure is every outlet in your RV is off. We are going to hit this pump and let's see what happens. The red light turns on. I could hear the pump going. Let's go down here and see what's going on with this water. Making sure no kinks are in the hose. And it is already pulling. Look at that. You can see the water going down fast. So it's about halfway now. So you can continue this process as much as you want to fill up your tank. Now remember, the more water you put in your tank, the heavier you are going to be. So that's why we like to drive around with 5 gallons of water, and we try to stop at a place that has water fill. Some rest areas have it, and you know, like a couple miles from your location. This is a fast process, guys. I mean, this might take 2 minutes to empty this 5-gallon bucket. Do it as many times as you want. You cannot overfill your tank because it has an overfill, and that's it right there. It will come out of here if you overfill your freshwater tank. I could hear the air being pushed through the tank. But regardless, now we're good. Hey, meet me at the water cooler. When we're almost done with this, usually I will have 3 or 4 of these filled up, but at this point I just want to show you what I use for 5-gallon buckets, or 5 gallons. All right, so we are going to turn the pump off. We'll go up here, off. Now we have fresh water in our freshwater tank, at least 5 gallons. Another note, I like to use the BPA-free 5-gallon buckets if I'm using it. I don't know, just preference. So now that we have fresh water in the freshwater tank, we are going to make sure the power is off. Okay, the switch is off. And you'll probably see some water come out of here, which is normal. It does have a check valve that prevents the water from coming back, but there might be a little bit. So always shut this. This way no bugs or anything gets in it. And that's it. Now let's go ahead and use our fresh water at dry camping. So we'll go here and we will set our dial to dry camping. So we'll turn this knob here. We'll turn this down, that's already turned. We'll turn this knob down. We'll turn this one up and the green up. Now, before I do anything, I always double check. Dry camping. Sideways. Both of those are down, both of those are up. This is exactly what we're using. What I like to do is I like to go all the way to the farthest part of the RV, which is my outdoor kitchen, and turn the hot water on. Once the hot water pipe and there's water coming out of the hot water nozzle, I know there's hot water. There's water in my hot water tank. Okay, just got wet. All right, so I'll take this right here and I'll snap it inside here. How to do that is you have to hold down, you have to pull back on it, push it in, and making sure that it's clipped in by just snugging it a little bit. I will connect this right here. This way I can turn the water on and off. There. Now, once I push this trigger, you should hear the pump. And you, by the way, you can't hear me right now that good because the microphone is facing backwards because I'm facing the pump. Either or, I turn this nozzle on or this nozzle, you will hear the pump. Now listen to this. What happened there is you heard it turn on and turn off. Well, it was filling this hose right here. So as I spray this hose, you'll hear the pump. I hope you could hear that. That was pretty cool. I put the microphone next to the pump. So let me go ahead and do this. So let me spray it that way and let's see if we can hear it. I can hear it. So this works so good. I just absolutely love the pump. I love how you're able to put water in your freshwater tank and always have water on board. Okay, so I know no water is running throughout the RV because the pump is not turned on, okay? So I will always turn this off. Now, once that nozzle is turned off, I can take this hose and no more water will come through it. Now if I turn it back on, now listen to the pump, and there it is. Well, just remember everyone, this is dry camping. You may go to a site that has electrical only, which will work. This is strictly dry camping, and dry camping doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use your batteries. You could be at an electrical only site, which means you could use your pump to provide water to your RV. Like I said, you could do this multiple times with a 5-gallon bucket here. We already have water in our freshwater tank, that's why we only did it once. I just wanted to show you the idea of what we do. Now, if you remember my last video, I go over filling the freshwater tank with about 5 to 10 gallons prior to traveling to use the water in your fresh water. So I'll go back in the RV and make sure everything is off. I'll make sure the pump is off, and before I leave, I will always disconnect my battery. This way it's not draining as I'm gone. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope this was helpful to you. By the way, I always read my comments, and I love to take those comments and try to build off of that, for future videos. If you have any questions, leave them in the description below. Please subscribe if you have not, and hit that bell, and you will be notified for videos like this and future videos. Everybody take care. Hope you have a great week.